Hi everybody, it's Casey Williams. Back in the early 1990s, Mercedes built the 500e. It was among the fastest sedans at the time, assembled by Porsche, and a car that legendary automotive journalist David E. Davis Jr. said he'd drive it to the moon and back. Well, the car we have behind us is the E450. Well, that car is just in the middle of the Mercedes E-Class lineup, and yet it's faster, far technically superior to that old 500e, and just an all-around much better car. Let's go have a look at it. Well, the first thing I really miss from that old 500e is the front end with that big chrome grille and the star on top of the hood. But the E450 we have today has a sport package on it. You can still get the stand-up hood ornament and the big grille if you want it, but this has a sport package like the coupes. So you get the twin lamellas, you get the big star in the middle with the radar unit behind that. All LED lighting. You got LED light, running lamps here, LED headlamps. Really brightens up the road at night. Come around the side, and the car really splits the difference, obviously, between the C-Class and the S-Class. I think the styling really, again, just looks like a baby S-Class. But where the C-Class maybe looks a little short and a little stout, this actually looks a little more streamlined, looks really pretty. 18-inch AMG alloy wheels on it. I think the car just looks very handsome. This looks very sophisticated, very upscale, as you would expect from a Mercedes E-Class. Come around the back. Again, very smooth tail lamps with the LEDs back here. Kind of look like the old style Mercedes lamps with the graduated look back here. Nice chrome detailing. Again, the back just kind of has that bustle back, again, like the S-Class. Power trunk lid. Cut side, and of course, as you expect, lots of luggage space. And you can extend that. There's a handle here, handle there, puts down both the back seats. Plenty of space for everything you want to get inside. Well, I think the biggest difference between this car and the old 500e really is the interior. The old 500e was all about business. You had this tall vertical stack of controls. The car was just about driving and not doing much else. This car is a lot more luxurious. It's very sumptuous, very much like a smaller S-Class inside. And you can really see it, even starting with the dash design. These wide horizontal panels of wood, just absolutely beautiful. And you can customize this wood. You can get kind of glossy burled walnut if you want to. I think it looks very nice inside here. This has a perfume atomizer. You can actually customize the scent of the interior of the car. It's got ambient lighting. It just creeps out of every crevice. You can change the color of that as well. I think it looks very, very beautiful. The seats, you got heated and cooled leather seats here with heated armrests, in case your elbows get kind of chilly in the wintertime. Heated steering wheel. And even the side bolsters adjust in these seats. They're active side bolsters. If you're cornering and kind of lean into it, it'll actually push back and keep you centered in your seat. I think it's all very cool. It's got the sunroof, Burmester audio system sounds fantastic, heads-up display, and it's got the new Mercedes control system with the twin flat screens, instruments on this side, infotainment here, all controlled by the center control down below. This car has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and it has a ton of safety gear as well. It has adaptive cruise control, it has the forward collision alert system with auto brake. It'll actually go ahead and slow down the car if you don't pay attention. Lane keep assist, blind spot warning, rear crosspath detection, all the stuff you'd expect on a high-end luxury car today. This car also has a couple of other safety features I think are very cool. It has a lane centering system. It uses the cameras above the mirror to follow the lines on the road and actually keep you centered in that lane. You have to keep your hands on the steering wheel at least loosely, but it'll go ahead and follow the curves and it'll steer the car and do what it needs to do. And it also has lane change assist system. So if you're on the interstate driving and you want to change lanes, you turn on the turn signal, the car will use the blind spot system to check, and then it'll go ahead and change lanes and center the car in the next lane. So a lot of really cool safety tech in this car as well. Well, I don't think this car lacks for power. Again, it's not an AMG series, still just a regular E-Class. But the car has 362 horsepower coming out of a bi-turbo V6, 362 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. And compared to the old 500e that had 325 horsepower, that's quite a nice improvement. Add to that all-wheel drive. You've got a 9-speed automatic transmission instead of the old 4-speed automatic transmission. So you've got all that power, and with the turbos, you've got that low-end torque. It breathes nice on the highway, and the transmission just keeps you in the right rev range all the time. And the car is just really a delight to drive. This car has the air suspension package on it, so in comfort mode, it just has that nice heavy float like the old school Mercedes, but you can also put it in Sport or Sport Plus, and it really stiffens up the car. Not only does it stiffen the suspension, it also stiffens up the steering a little bit, makes the throttle a little more aggressive, makes the shift points a little sporty as well. So the car just kind of changes character as you go through that switch. And like I said, the safety system I think is fantastic. I had my mom in the car today. We were we're out driving on this 2-lane highway. And I made her drive, and I put the adaptive cruise on and put the lane centering system on. And I told her just to loosen her grip on the wheel, and it just steered back and forth, went around the curves. And my mom was just absolutely, just beaming, because she never experienced anything like it. And I think it's one of those technologies that's coming along, and I think Mercedes is really doing a good job perfecting it. This is not a total hands-off, drive from point A to point B system. Nobody really offers that right now. But think of it as kind of a super cruise control system. Just gives you some extra comfort, a little bit of ease, and the car takes a little bit of load off of you when you're on the highway. And the lane change assist system I think is very cool as well. You're on the interstate, you click the turn signal, and the car just moves itself right over the next lane and centers itself again. So very sophisticated. But I like the car quite a bit. Like I said at the very beginning, the one thing I think this car is missing is the stand-up hood ornament on the hood. I think there's nothing like sitting in the seat of a Mercedes-Benz and seeing the stars sitting out there. And this car doesn't have that. But this car does have a much sportier character to the car and a lot more luxurious than the cars in the past. You'll find no bigger fan of 1980s and 1990s Mercedes than this guy. I love the 500e. But I don't want to go back to the early 1990s and drive the Mercedes then. They're fun for classics, but not for everyday use. I think this car is absolutely fantastic. And even as what you'd think is a mid-grade Mercedes E-Class, it'll outrun that 500e any day you want to do it. It's a lot more luxurious, obviously a lot more safety, a lot safer, and just an overall lot more technology on this car, far better car. And if you compare the price and inflation adjusted it, you'd find this car is even cheaper than the 500e. Well, let's talk about price for just a second. So the E-Class starts at $53,500. This one has equipped $85,170. Obviously not an inexpensive car, but for a car that has everything of an S-Class at a bargain price compared to that, I think it's absolutely fantastic. Well, next week we'll have another fun car. Until then, storm forward.